People can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. They're only able to understand you as much as they understand themselves. Keep your softness, stay gentle, and remain kind. Don't let the ugly around you make you bitter. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to wave goodbye with a smile, knowing that not everyone is meant to stay in your story. Letting go isn't about sadness, it's about making room for the next adventure.
Everything we see is a false reality.
Does evil exist?
I don't know. Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Now a question. What have Herbert Hoover, Art Linkletter, Jack London, and Richard Nixon all had in common?
I have no enemies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. It seems to be getting harder, distinguishing reality from the illusions people make for us, or from the ones we make for ourselves. Maybe that's part of the plan, to make me think I'm crazy.
What the hell are you talking about?
I wanted to say that you're gonna hear some bad things about me, and some of them are true. But trust me, everything I've worked for, everything I care about, it's all for this wild card, bitches! Yeah!
Greetings, afternoon, good morning, good evening, salutations. What's going on? I don't know. It is still the morning right now. Trying to drum up some vital energy for this recording right here. And my first question is, does French ever get anything wrong? Does France ever get anything wrong? I'm not sure. They know how to protest better than everybody else. They are the harbingers and the judge and jury for all art, contemporary, modern, everything. I think that they even make smoking cigarettes very, very cool. And I don't know anybody else that even comes close to that mark as a society as a whole. France, they produce just the greatest shit. Jim Carrey, fucking, who else? Christopher Lampard, French toast, French fries. They took a regular potato and said, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. No, fuck that. We were going to turn this potato into cocaine. And that's what they did. And I've said it all to say, in recent news, in European news, because I feel like this should be a worldly cast because we're all stuck here, and me diving into politics and everything, I do want to be more worldly in my whole judgment and ideals and principles. I want my moral compass to encapsulate all types of cultures, and I do love French culture. So in modern news, the European Parliament elections, French President Emmanuel Macron dissolved the lower house of Parliament yesterday and called for snap elections later this month. After projections showed the far-right National Rally Party, don't know who that is, don't know what that is, and I don't really want to bring them up because that part doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that this fucking president of France, or of a high-ranking member of parliament, he fucking decided to completely dissolve the lower house of parliament. Do you know what type of gusto you gotta have to do that? How low you let your nuts hang to get away with that? And it's a lot of people. This is what defund the police protesters actually mean, in my opinion. I mean, nobody really wants there to be anarchy, unless you're fucking clinically insane. Nobody really wants anarchy or nothing like that. This is just it's a call for action, but Americans lack the subtlety and intelligence to make such nuanced arguments and make them make sense. I think as a society, we're too dense to be able to have such a nuanced and important conversation. However, France has got it all fucking rolled up like a fucking croissant. They said, no, you know what? Fuck all that shit. France's parliament, in a surprise announcement, sending voters back to the polls in the coming weeks to choose lawmakers after the party was handed a humbling defeat by the far right in the European elections on Sunday. So, I enjoy the fact that they said, fuck that shit. We're going to get all new guys in this bitch. But I don't like the why, right? The why seems, if you don't agree with me, get the fuck up out of here, all of you, type shit. So I don't know how authentic this election would be. Because if that's the case, then if I'm the president or high-ranking member of parliament, I'm just gonna be like, yo, you won. My brother won as the mayor of Paris. So, you know, it just so happened that my auntie also, I don't know any other France cities. Hold on. No, I can't think of another one. But yeah, it just like he would just rig every election and get his boys in there. Like, that's the only thing that I could think of. But that's neither here nor there. I think that I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt until more is learned about all that sort of stuff. Just like I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, you know. Even if somebody was to kill, like, somebody that I admire, somebody that I, you know, idolize, deify, somebody that's worthy of that knowingly, and everybody knows that, if some group of people was to then kill that person that me and many others look up to, somebody that has, you know, just achieved great things, miracles even, somebody that, you know, just preached positivity and had his faults still, but if another group of people was to just kill him, right, for, I don't know, it wouldn't even matter the reason really, as long as it's not an atrocity. If it was unworthy for them to kill him, but then they kill him, and then I knew that they killed him, and then they also said, you know, damn, we killed him type beat, I would even give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I wouldn't call them like shiesty or like fucked up type of people. Like, even if the dude or lady that I looked up to went against norms in society, like they didn't like taxation or anything like that, and then let's just say like the other group of people wanted to gain some type of money, or I don't know, this is a completely hypothetical thing, but like they wanted to get more money, and he was alleviating debt and letting people know that they don't really exist in a system. You are a sovereign individual participating in a theater of government and rules and laws and regulations and policies. And then they came around and killed him to secure, you know, quote unquote banks and streams of revenue for themselves and their children and things of that nature. I would give them such a benefit of the doubt that I wouldn't even say that they're like money hungry people as a whole. I wouldn't do that personally. Like that's just how much I give the benefit of the doubt to numerous people, numerous bodies of organization, numerous anybody. I give anybody the benefit of the doubt. That's just. And I know I got into a tangent, but on something completely unrelated, the Jews, right? So the Jews, they're having a little skirmish still in the Middle East, and there's been. It's so interesting that there has been a call for diplomacy from one side, and the other side is like crash out mentality. Because and it's so, the Middle East, Israel and Palestine shit going on right now is so interesting, because for the Jews to go out of their way to cause death and murder and fucking suffering to a group of people that cannot compete with you is disgusting. It's not cool, bro. It's like your little brother. It's the power differential is as if you are 17 years old, right? And your little sister is 4 years old, right? And your parents are poor, right? And you have to share a room with your little sister. And you did your homework last night, and your little sister, she was looking for like something to draw on type beat. So she turned over your homework and drew on the back type shit. And then you go in there and you're like, my nigga, the fuck? Why are you in my room going crazy? And I mean, before you started living with her type shit, she had like pink and like rainbows, unicorns, like cupcakes and easy bake ovens and shit. And when you moved in, you like made it fucking uninhabitable for her. Like, she's mad uncomfortable because you done put like your Brody ass teen angst bullshit in the room, like type shit. And the only thing you let her keep is her easy bake oven, and that's because you fuck with them cupcakes too. And then when you came home and you saw that she drew on the back of your homework, you fucking snapped her fucking wrist. You popped her shoulder out of place and ripped her arm off. That is the power differential that we're looking at, right? And then she retaliated by like kicking you in the shin. And then you slapped the fuck out of her. You put her in the hospital. Now she's definitely paralyzed. Like, her spinal cord is fucking paralyzed. So that's the power differential looking at. And I think with great power comes great responsibility. I had to say that different so I don't get copyrighted. But because we're such a big platform at this point. So if you are the stronger person, I think there's strength. There's strength in the action of the strong not taking action towards the weak. But yeah, so stop fucking crashing out and chill, bro. Like, the fuck. But anyways, in modern news, Israel's hostage operation. An Israeli Special Forces operation is in central Gaza Saturday retrieved 4 living hostages captured on October 7th. More than 270 Palestinians were killed, according to the Hamas-run health ministry, which does not differentiate between civilians and combatants. Wow. Wow. To get back 4 fucking people, you killed 270 people. Jesus Christ. How much is a life worth? All right, and that's another thing too. Like I'm gonna go off onto a tangent a little bit, but that's what you're here for. Like you fuck with me,
Brother,
What you have me say? Anyways, what's going on, Chucky Milk? Let me just finish introing this fucking episode. This episode is just gonna be, you know what I mean, vibes type shit, vibes. Anyways, back to the project at hand. So that's another thing too. I think that there's a whole bunch of grandstanding happening right now, and it is the most disgusting version of grandstanding because, okay, for you to go over there and kill almost 300 people for 10 people, you cannot see those people as human. Or you see those people as human and you see yourself as more than human. Right? I'm disgusted with the current administration for even partaking in these dumbass wars that we don't need to be a part of, and the blood is on my hands, the blood is on your hands because I'm a tax-paying citizen, and that's exactly the money that I pay to fucking keep my property, and the sales tax on the fucking gas that I buy. It fuels the bloodshed that the Israelis are running around doing the modern day, and I'm fed up with that because this is I'm fully responsible and accountable for the bloodshed. The blood is on my hands as well. However, it is there should be some type of thing where you can choose where your tax dollars get sent to. I would like all of my tax dollars to raise the wages of teachers and firefighters and police officers. Infrastructure. These niggas care too much about the fucking global initiative to have one world government. This shit is really out of control for no reason whatsoever. These niggas killed 300 people to get back 10. And the exact numbers are 270 and 4. Like, I'm giving both of them, I'm rounding up for the both of them. Even if it was 100 fucking hostages and you killed 300 people, I would still look at you like you're fucking insane. And even if the number was even, like, there's no need for any of this shit. Right? So, Israel has strategically bombed hospitals, schools, safe havens. This is genocide, and we're literally watching it happen and unfold right now in our fucking faces. And okay, so you see them as less than, regardless of if you see yourself as human or more than. But I want to equate that to the worth of a life, right? So the worth of a life, it can't be life is the most important thing on this planet, and for you to not even be willing to have some type of deliberation, some type of meeting of the minds, and just recognizing that we're all here, we're all family at the end of the day. We all have one common ancestor. If you unfold the fucking DNA that we have right now, it's just interesting. Let me continue reading about this operation. So the daytime operation involved storming two multi-story apartment buildings 600 feet apart where hostages were held separately. Israel says special forces came under heavy fire, including from rocket-propelled grenades, with one Israeli officer killed. Among the hostages was Noah Argamani. Fuck you, Noah. You couldn't chill. You couldn't chill until you were saved type shit. Noah, I want you to know that 100 of these bodies are on your hands. 100. Anyways. Filmed, taken to Gaza on a motorcycle in a highly publicized video. About 120 hostages were believed to still be in Gaza, including 43 presumed dead. More than 37,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the start of the war, according to the health ministry. Separately, opposition leader Benny Gantz resigned yesterday from Israel's war cabinet after Israeli Prime Minister failed to set forth a post-war plan for Gaza. Right, so he was all for, the complete annihilation. That's another thing too. Science and art are so close because they dance on that line of the taboo. Right. So when we make these weapons of mass destruction and mass casualty weapons, these scientists, generals, sergeants, high-ranking military men, and men as a whole, once you have something, you want to play with it.
What do you mean by that?
Type beat. So the issue is the production of these weapons and things of that nature. So on a lighter note, though, on a lighter note, though, let me try to find the article. So, not on a lighter note, let's stick on Gaza for 2 more seconds. I just wanted to bring up the fact that there was a Gaza school airstrike killing more than 30 people, including 12 women and children, according to Palestinian authorities. The Israeli military said 20 and 30 militants were operating at the school, pointing to classrooms it said were used by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad militants to launch attacks. Who cares? Okay, right. If a terroristic group uses a school or a hospital to do what the fuck they want to do, that means you can't bomb the fucking school. What the fuck? And that's their response to bombing the fucking school. Their response is fucking, well, they were hiding in there, and what else did you want us to do? Did you want us to send some negotiation? Did you want us to try to actually think of a plan when we have all these bombs? When I could just do that? Why would I ever talk to them? They have 4 of our guys. They have 4 people. They have 4 people that look like me and know fucking ancient Hebrew. Why wouldn't I kill them? All women and children. A school. So that when we do have this fucking Gaza rebuilding shit, they will all owe us money. Because we're going to give them this money on credit. We're going to rebuild everything. We're going to completely decimate their whole culture, way of life, and understanding of the fundamentals that they grew up on and they respect and they love. Fuck them. That's what I'm saying.
Bomba.
But yeah, So that's all I want to bring to your attention type shit. Anyways, my heart goes out to the casualties that happened. My heart goes out to all these victims of war around the world unnecessarily. No war is necessary. No deaths are necessary. Especially if you're a casualty, especially if all they're doing is backing the Palestinians into a corner, whereas you're just going to be seen as the oppressor now. That's all you've done. You've done nothing for diplomacy. You've done nothing for nothing. Like, all you've done is cry. And that's how you have to look at the United States as a whole too. Like, it's clearly run by fucking bankers that just seek their personal interests. But on the U.S. front, there is hope for the U.S. Even though I don't like the word hope, there is an upswing, a positive trajectory for the United States. United States employers added 272,000 non-farm jobs in May alone, exceeding economists' estimates of 190,000 and surpassing the downwardly revised 165,000 jobs in April. According to government data released yesterday, however, the unemployment rate rose to 4%, the highest jobless level since January 2022. Economists have expected the rate to remain unchanged from April's 3.9. Most jobs in May were added to healthcare, 68,000, government, 43,000, that's dumb as fuck, and leisure and hospitality, 42,000. Average hourly earnings in May were also higher than expected. So, congratulations, United States, you're actually doing something for the economy. After 4 years of this president, he's doing something for the economy. Nobody's school loans has ever been fixed. Congratulations. Nobody's school loans has ever been fixed. There's legal fucking migrants just running amok. There's fucking and also I don't understand why people still believe that the United States is like such a glorious place to be at. I mean, I guess if you my issue with the whole busloads of migrants just being dropped on the most populated cities ever. Why don't you just drop them in Wyoming and have them like kind of start the fucking the civilizations over there? Like, we have deserts in the United States still. There's like a gas station every 100 miles where you can just drop them off over there type shit and give them the same amount of money you're giving them here. They'll form a little community and type shit and have it like a tenure. Have it like, a 4-year plan type shit. But if you have a kid, then you that kid has a automatic 10-year to 12-year tenure and that would extend the parents' tenure as well. And they just go over there and like build type shit and live like off the land type shit and like vibe out. And that would just create more fucking places to be at. These are already overpopulated places, and that fucking sucks. Anyways, other news. An astronaut dies. So, former NASA astronaut Bill Anders died Friday in a plane crash near San Juan, on the coast of Washington State. According to his family, the cause of the accident has not been determined. The 90-year-old Anders was piloting the craft and was the only one on board. Fuck, he must have said something about Boeing. Boeing's the best planes ever. Nothing's wrong with Boeing. Boeing actually is the most trusted plane in the United States of America. Fuck. No, but all astronauts either they all die like super mysterious because they never fucking were able to leave the fucking atmosphere of the Earth. So they fucking isn't that crazy that a 90-year-old fuckhead was piloting a plane by himself and crashed in such a glorious and spectacular fire blaze of glory? And I think that's exactly why it takes them a little while to come up with the whole thing of like how it happened and shit. Because it's fucking NASA. So you gotta understand that these niggas is not right to call a spade a spade. Yeah, these niggas is different for sure. Anyways, time for the next segment of the show. All right, so the second half of the episode, I always like to dive into the spiritual, the philosophizing of where I like to just think out loud and everything. I've condensed that part to the second half. So this episode, I was thinking recently about like what evil actually means to me. And I derived this definition by personal experience and minor research on just evil characters. I believe that evil is giving for lack of a better word, but giving somebody suffering on purpose. I think if you do that, anything under that umbrella, you're evil, your actions were evil, and now you have to repent, or now you are just on the right path if you want to be evil type beat. So I was thinking that even when the most sincere and heartfelt relationships, I was telling this to one of my senseis yesterday, and I was explaining to him my new definition of evil, and he was saying that he was taking into account the undeservedness of the recipient of the suffering has to be calculated in there as well. And then I brought up the notion of revenge, and I was saying, so you think that if somebody does evil to you and then you retaliate, you're not evil, but they are? And he was like, yeah, because I was just defending myself type shit in some circumstance, some hypothetical thing that he was talking about. And I don't know how I feel about, I kind of agree, but I think that even some forms of justice can be quote unquote evil. I think in certain circumstances, I'm trying to think of a definition that's so concrete that even any circumstance, any hypothetical that I could think of, this definition will allow me to still call that evil regardless of the circumstance. So I believe there's some circumstances where you can knowingly give somebody suffering and Well, no, I can't. Okay, the whole reason I was thinking about that little lane of how I was setting that up right there is how I like to give people truths about certain situations, and I know it could possibly hurt their feelings or something, but I don't think that it should. I don't think that anybody should ever feel bad or necessarily great about nah. I just think bad. I think you shouldn't feel bad about the truth, right? Or even if you feel bad about the truth, you can't like go so far as to say you're suffering from the truth, because the truth is like equilibrium, and we're all vibrating on our own frequency, but vibrations is just difference in amplitude and difference in hertz, but it's all a wave, so it's up down, and even the overstanding of having up and down, shifting from up and down, you must touch equilibrium every single time. So truth, and when you're frequency and you're vibrating so high, that up and down motion it becomes condensed until you get closer and closer to truth, which is that equilibrium, right? So I don't think anybody should argue with the truth. Anybody should have to stand against the truth. Anybody should feel any type of bad emotion toward the truth. The truth is one. The truth is light. The truth is love. But yeah, back to evil. Yeah, I think that even in pop culture, there is a lot of grandstanding, and nothing is really I think nowadays they try to make all villains likable, and all villains like live in this everybody in pop culture lives in like a gray area, when we used to have just like black and white, good and bad, because that's what the stories need. The stories need black and white, good and bad, because all stories used to have the right moral compass to be digested. Whether you like it or not, all stories still have a responsibility to provide the proper moral compass and the proper proper moral compass for the masses. It's not just, oh, I'm just writing a story, la da da da. No, Pinocchio, no, fucking Three Little Pigs, they all had morals in it. They all had a lesson to be learned. It's not just, and this is how our ancestors, why and how our ancestors passed down these stories. This is the greatest communication that human beings have ever came up with, is telling a story to get the point across. But nowadays, the villain being in the gray area, like, what's the point? Because if you see a bad person, and what am I supposed to do? If I see a person coming at me with a fucking knife, trying to rob me, like, give me your shit, fucking nigger. And I'm like, oh, damn. Tell me your story, brother. I'm sure that you had a rough life. I'm sure that you live in the gray area where you live in the gray area, I'm sure. And I'm sure that you were raised on a bed of nails. Give me your fucking wallet, you fucking idiot. It's my back pocket. But like I was saying, I'm sure that you lived on a bed of nails, and you ate spiders, and you raised in an orphanage. Oh, not my shoes. Oh, fuck it, my shoes. And that's what drove you to a life of crime. No, I just fucking need some money right now, you fucking idiot. So there's certain things where like, no, some people are just that way. I mean, there's no such thing as quote unquote good and bad on the grand scheme of things, but if we break it down to the perspective and the personal levels, of course, if somebody does ill to me personally, I'm going to see it as bad. Right? So that's why that type of thing matters, where we can learn, shiesty behavior from stories and learn from these stories and learn how to take our time, do proper judgment, do proper reasoning, and learn better skills to just move around this fucking egotistic, narcissistic place that we call home. I think that evil is... Yeah, I think that evil is giving suffering to someone else or others unnecessarily. I think that's the perfect definition. Because though some people would quote unquote suffer, and I have to take that into account when I'm communicating the truth to other people, it was necessary for their growth. It was necessary for my growth. It was necessary for all these types of things. And if we start with love, it must end with love. I just feel as though there's nothing that it couldn't be justified through evil. That's why I don't like the gray area. I like when my villains are, they don't have to be one dimensional, but I just like when they are there for the purpose of the story and they play that role. We don't need to know much about any said person in the story. They just need to play their role and do it properly. And it's just need to be a well-written story. However, we're coming to a close now. This has been your boy, your guy, Kino TM. Kino662 on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Spreaker, Amazon, or anywhere. Oh, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you digest your podcast. Just look up Chunky Milk. And thank you, Chunky Milk, and I'm shining out.